The sound cuts through the morning, quiet like a blade. 3 soft knocks on weathered wood, patient but desperate. Sarah Chun wipes flour from her hands and moves toward the front door, her bare feet silent on the cold planks. Through the warped glass, she sees 2 small shapes on her porch. She opens the door and her breath catches. 2 girls stand before her, identical down to the last freckle. Maybe 12 years old, maybe younger. Their hair hangs in tangled sheets around hollow cheeks. Their dresses are torn at the shoulders, stained with mud and something darker. No shoes. Their feet are cut and dirty, toes blue from the cold. But it's their eyes that stop Sarah's heart. She knows those eyes. She wore them once, decades ago, when she ran from her own nightmares. "We were told you needed us," the girl on the left says. Her voice is steady despite the tremor in her small hands. "Who told you that?" Sarah grips the doorframe. "The lady with the scars." The other girl whispers, "She said you'd understand." Sarah's knuckles go white. The lady with the scars. Only one person ever called herself that, and she's been dead for 10 years. "What lady?" Sarah's voice comes out rougher than she intended. "She had marks here." The first girl touches her own throat, drawing a line across pale skin. "And here." She traces a path down her arm. "She said you had them too, once upon a time." The words hit Sarah like a physical blow. She stumbles backward a step, one hand flying to her own throat where old wounds still ache on cold mornings. "She said you were the only one who'd fight for us," the second girl adds. "She said you'd know what it feels like to run." Sarah's legs nearly give out. Her sister Anna, dead Anna with her collection of scars, and her promises to save every broken child in the county. Anna, who died trying to expose the men who bought and sold innocents like cattle. "Please," both girls say in unison. "We don't have anywhere else to go." Sarah looks at them standing there, 2 small ghosts from her sister's unfinished war. She sees herself at their age, broken and desperate, and praying someone would care enough to fight. The choice isn't really a choice at all. She steps back and opens the door wider. "Come inside," she says. "You're safe now." But even as the words leave her mouth, Sarah knows safety is something they'll all have to earn. Anna didn't send these children to hide. She sent them to finish what she started. Sarah's kitchen table has seen better decades. The twins sit across from each other, their small hands wrapped around thick slices of bread. They tear off pieces and dip them into glasses of milk, their movements perfectly synchronized. Neither speaks above a whisper. "Eat slow," Sarah says, setting a plate of eggs between them. "Your stomachs need time." "Thank you," the girl on the left whispers. "Thank you," echoes the other, half a second behind. They move like shadows of each other. When one reaches for milk, the other does too. When one glances toward the window, the other follows. Sarah has never seen anything quite like it. "What are your names?" she asks, settling into the chair across from them. The twins freeze. Their eyes meet and hold. Some silent conversation passes between them, fast as lightning. "We're whoever you need us to be," the first girl says. "That's not an answer. It's the only one we have," the second girl finishes. Sarah's chest tightens. She knows evasion when she hears it, knows the desperate math of survival that makes children disappear themselves. "You don't have to be anyone but yourselves here," she says gently. The twins exchange another look. The girl on the left pushes up her sleeve to scratch her arm. Sarah's breath catches. Purple bruises ring the child's wrist like a bracelet. Finger-shaped marks, days old but still ugly. "Who did that to you?" The question slips out before Sarah can stop it. Both girls go rigid. The one with the visible bruises yanks her sleeve down. "Nobody," they say in unison. Sarah's hands clench in her lap. She knows those bruises. Knows the fear that makes children lie to protect their abusers. She wore the same marks once. Told the same lies. Thunder rumbles overhead, low and threatening. The twins flinch at the sound and move closer together, shoulders touching. "A storm's coming," Sarah says. "We don't mind storms," the first girl whispers. "We're used to noise," adds a second. Something in their voices breaks Sarah's heart clean in half. These children have lived through worse than thunder. Much worse. She stands and moves to the window. Dark clouds roll across the valley like smoke. The wind picks up, rattling the glass in its frame. "You can stay," she says without turning around. "As long as you need." The silence stretches behind her. Then, so quiet she almost misses it, one of them whispers, "Forever?" Sarah turns back to face them. Two small girls with old souls and fresh bruises, looking at her like she might be salvation itself. "Forever," she says, and means it. Thunder crashes overhead, sealing the promise. The cruiser kicks up dust as it rolls down Sarah's gravel drive. Sheriff Morrison steps out, his boots hitting the ground with authority. His badge catches the morning sun, throwing light across his chest like a warning beacon. Sarah's already on the porch, arms crossed. She knew this was coming. Word travels fast in small towns, especially word about strange children appearing overnight. "Morning, Sarah." Morrison tips his hat, but his eyes are cold. "Sheriff, heard you got some visitors." "Heard, right." Morrison climbs the porch steps slow and deliberate. Each footfall sounds like a threat. "Children don't just appear, Sarah. These did. Come now. Two little girls, middle of nowhere. No family looking for them." He peers past her toward the window. "Where'd they come from? Does it matter? The state will want records, birth certificates, social security numbers." Morrison's voice carries the weight of bureaucracy, the kind that crushes people who don't fit neat categories. Sarah's jaw sets like stone. Then the state can go to hell. Morrison's face darkens. He's always hated Sarah's independence, the way she lives by her own rules on her own land. Most women in town defer to his authority. Sarah Chin never has. "Now see here, Sarah. You can't just take in strays without proper channels. They're children, not dogs. They're somebody's responsibility. They're mine now." Morrison steps closer, using his height to intimidate. It doesn't work. Sarah's faced worse than small-town sheriffs with God complexes. "You think you're above the law?" "I think the law failed them first." Inside the house, two small faces press against the kitchen window. The twins watch Morrison's hand rest on his gun belt, see the way he crowds their protector. They've learned to read danger in men's postures. "This isn't over, Sarah." Morrison backs down the steps. "Those girls need proper placement. Foster care. People trained to handle damaged children. They're not damaged. They're survivors. Same thing. Not even close." Morrison reaches his cruiser and pauses. "You're making a mistake. This will come back on you." Sarah doesn't flinch. "Let it come." The sheriff drives away in a cloud of dust and diesel fumes. Sarah remains on the porch until the sound fades completely. Only then does she turn toward the window, where the twins still watch. "He's gone," she calls softly. The girls step back from the glass, but Sarah sees the question in their eyes. The same question she asked herself years ago when powerful men try to silence her. How long before they come back with more than questions? The screaming cuts through the night like broken glass. Sarah bolts upright in bed, heart hammering. She throws off her covers and runs toward the sound. The twins are in the small bedroom she prepared for them, pressed together in the corner like wounded animals. Their nightgowns are soaked with sweat. One is sobbing, the other making small wounded sounds. Hey, it's okay." Sarah drops to her knees beside them. "You're safe. He was here." The first girl gasps. "In the room," whispers the second. "Who was here?" Sarah keeps her voice gentle. The twins look at each other, some silent communication passing between them. Then the first girl speaks, her voice barely audible. "The man with cold hands." Sarah's stomach drops. She's heard those words before in other testimonies, other broken children. "Tell me about him." "He had a big house, lots of rooms." The second girl's words come in broken pieces. "Men would come. They'd pay him money." "For what?" "For us." The words hit Sarah like a physical blow. She forces herself to stay calm, to keep listening. "He said no one would believe us." The first girl continues. "He said we were nothing. Adds her sister. Just things he owned. Sarah's hands shake with rage. She's heard this story before, knows a network of predators that treat innocents like cattle. Her sister Anna died trying to expose them. But the scarred lady said you were different. The first girl whispers. Said you'd fight. The second girl finishes. What exactly did she tell you? Sarah's voice comes out hoarse. That you escaped too a long time ago. That you knew what it felt like to be hunted. The first girl reaches for Sarah's hand. She said you'd never let them take us back. Sarah's blood runs cold. Anna. It has to be Anna. But Anna died 10 years ago. Try and bring down the same monsters these children escaped from. She said she'd been watching from far away. The second girl adds. Said she couldn't rest until we were safe. What did she look like? Sarah asks, though she already knows. Dark hair like yours. Scars on her throat and arms. Sad eyes that look like they'd seen too much. Sarah closes her eyes. Anna, her sister who died in a car accident that was no accident at all. Anna who swore she'd save every broken child in the county. She kept her promise, Sarah whispers. The twins look at her with wide, questioning eyes. She brought you home. 3 black sedans roll up Sarah's driveway, like a funeral procession. Sheriff Morrison climbs out of the lead car, followed by 4 men in expensive suits and empty smiles. Their shoes are too clean, their faces too smooth. They don't belong in this place of dust and honest dirt. Sarah stands on her porch, waiting. She knew they'd come back. Men like these always do. Sarah. Morrison tips his hat, but his eyes avoid hers. These gentlemen are from the state. They're here about the girls. The lead suit steps forward. His smile never reaches his eyes. Ms. Chun, I'm Agent Bradley. We understand you have 2 runaways in your custody. They're not runaways. I'm afraid they are. We've been looking for them for weeks. Their guardians are very worried. Sarah's jaw tightens. What guardians? The Evergreen Home for Troubled Youth. They escaped from a secure facility designed to help children with behavioral issues. The lies roll off his tongue like oil. Sarah has heard enough lies to know the taste. Step aside, Sarah. Morrison's voice carries a warning. This is bigger than you. Nothing's bigger than protecting children. Bradley's smile turned sharp. You don't understand the forces you're meddling with, Ms. Chun. These girls need professional help. Psychiatric care. Medication. They need safety. What they need is to come with us. Now. The front door opens behind Sarah. The twins step onto the porch, and everything changes. Gone is the cowering fear from yesterday. Their spines are straight, their chins lifted. Something is hardened in their eyes. Something that mirrors the steel in Sarah's own. We're not going anywhere, the first girl says, her voice clear and strong. We know who you are, adds a second, staring directly at Bradley. The agent's smile falters. Girls, you're confused. Traumatized. You'll feel better once we get you proper care. We feel fine here, they say in unison. Sarah steps between the children and the men. You heard them. Morrison's hand moves to his gun. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Or what? You'll shoot me in front of witnesses? On my own land. The twins move to Sarah's sides, flanking her like soldiers. 3 generations of women who refuse to be broken. 3 survivors who've learned that sometimes the only way to stop monsters is to become something stronger. Bradley's mask slips completely. This isn't over. No, Sarah says, her voice carrying the weight of Anna's unfinished war. It's just beginning. Sarah reaches into her jacket and pulls out a manila envelope, thick with papers. Bradley's eyes narrow as she opens it. Anna left me something before she died, Sarah says, pulling out photographs. Pictures of men like you. Documents with names and dates. Bank records showing payments. Bradley's face goes white. You don't know what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. Sarah holds up a photograph. It shows Bradley shaking hands with a man in a governor's pen. Anna spent years building this case. She knew she was being watched. Morrison steps forward, his hand still on his gun. Sarah, put that away. Why? Scared to see your name in the records? Sarah pulls out a bank statement. $50,000. Payment for services rendered. Your signature on the receipt. Morrison's face crumbles. The other suits exchange nervous glances. She documented everything. Sarah continues. The houses where children disappear. The officials who look the other way. The network that stretches from here to the Capitol. Bradley recovers first. No one will believe you. They will now. Sarah holds up a flash drive. Anna-made copies. Lots of them. Hidden in safe deposit boxes across 3 counties. The silence stretches tight as wire. Then Bradley jerks his head at his men. We're leaving. They pile into their cars and disappear down the dusty road. Morrison lingers for a moment, his badge catching the afternoon sun. This isn't over, Sarah. Yes, it is, at least for you. He drives away in defeat, leaving dust and silence behind. Sarah sinks onto the porch steps. The twins sit beside her, one on each side. What happens now? The first girl asks. Now we build something better. Together? Forever. The sun sets over the valley, painting the sky in shades of hope. 3 figures sit in comfortable silence, watching darkness fall. Finally, the first girl speaks. My name is Grace. Mine's Hope, whispers her sister. Sarah smiles. Grace and Hope. Anna would have loved that. Good names, she says. Strong names. The evening wind carries the scent of wildflowers and possibility. Sometimes salvation comes in small packages. Sometimes keeping a promise to the dead means saving the living. Sometimes the only way to build a better world is to protect the children who will inherit it. 3 generations of survivors, building tomorrow from the ashes of yesterday's pain.